evening, everyone. Thank you for joining me for another Flosstube about my cross-stitching hobby. I'm Lisa from Shady Tree Stitches, and it is currently Friday the 26th of March 2021, and this is season 3 episode 2, which is Flosstube number 115. So I haven't been good at telling you that. So if you have been with me since the beginning, I do thank you. Sounds like a long haul, but I'm very regular. I try to post every week. I was bad this week. I didn't post last weekend, and that was actually because I was a week out with myself, and I thought, oh, I'll just wait till the end of the month. But it's like, that's next week. So sorry about that. If you've been waiting for me, here I am. And if you're new, thanks for finding me. I hope you like hearing about stitching and seeing lots of progress. I talk a lot about challenge groups, and I also basically stick to talking about stitching. Although we'll have a really quick life update to start this one. We have been having rather a lot of rain here in Australia this week, and I just wanted to make mention of that we've had quite a bit of flooding. My house is all good, but the creek next to our house was dried up, and we had water views, which was a little bit interesting because we were told when we built here that we were potentially a flood risk, so we were watching that anxiously, but all's good, so really happy about that. All right, well, what on earth have I been stitching on? I'm excited to say that it is the 26th. I've finished all my March Mayhem stitching. All the pieces that were picked for March Mayhem, I have made progress, and I might do a little bit of a slideshow at the end of this Flosstube to show you the before and afters of the entire March Mayhems, because you might be interested in that. But I'll show you what I've stitched on first with the normal whips, and I've also finished all my monthly homeworks for Magical Stitches and Daily 30. Madly working on in-between tasks for Crystal Academy and the Dragon Dynasty. So if you're looking for something to do and you like actually stitching a fair bit, the Dragon Dynasty is open, or Dynasty of Dragons group. You can be what's called a rogue, and you can stitch to help out other teams. So if you're looking to help out a team, please help out the McCaffrey Dynasty, because that's my group and that I'm in, and we want to have as much help as we can. We've got a lovely little group. It's really fun. In Crystal Academy, I'm a Rougarou, and we are about to embark on the next bit of normal stitching. We've just been on a field trip, so the team are madly trying to get through 20,000 stitches this couple of days, and I think we're only at about 7,000. So I've got a lot of stitching ahead of me this weekend, which is good for you guys. And I'll be back with you probably with Jenny next weekend if she's available. She's been very busy with the floods as an SES member. She does storm damage and stuff, so she's been out busy taking care of all that stuff in her free time. So probably not a lot of stitching from Jenny from the last few weeks. Okay, to the stitching we go. In this time, I have worked on a model stitch that's for the Next Down the Rabbit Hole magazine. That's called Winter in Australia. So hopefully in the next week or two, when that gets released, I'll be able to show you what it looks like. But I've actually FFO'd it. So I have an FFO, but you can't see it. Okay, I worked on, in order tonight, random, there's actually an order, doesn't mean these are in order. Okay, I worked on my very scary Halloween. I worked on my very scary Halloween because I had to do something that had a cauldron in it, and then so beforehand it was like this, and then after I worked on my scary Halloween, I did 505 stitches on this section here. So I did all that border and that bit of the moon, but now you can see that I'm heading on my middle of 3 panels. So that's where it's up to. So I'm enjoying that. That's a Twin Peaks primitive, and it's being stitched on a piece of sassy pouch dyed fabric. Oh my goodness, what's happening to me? Let's see, maybe I won't yawn. Yay! We shall see. All right. Then I worked on my lavender farm. My lavender farm by Cuore e de Batticore. Really love the purples in this. It's a beautiful piece. Previously, it looked like this. And I worked on my lavender farm for 524 stitches, and it was a place where there could be a picnic setting. So this is where it is now. So I was still working on the house, and we had the door and windows. And this is on a piece of fabric dyed by Crafty Leanie. So really nice piece of fabric there, stitched in DMC. All right. Then I worked on some pieces that came up a few times. I'm just looking for them. I worked on my numbers. So the numbers picture looks like this because I haven't got the bag with me with the pattern right this second. And so at the start of me working on this, it looked like this. And my numbers I worked on twice during this fortnight. 166 and 203 stitches. So I'm really pleased because that let me finish my little boy. So my little boy in the water is totally finished with his little hat falling off him. This is an all I yesteryear's pattern. It's my oldest whip, and I'm just really enjoying getting it knocked over. So not too much more to go. Two and a half more little sections. So really happy with how that one's progressing. Then I worked on, I keep looking down because that's where my book is, my alphabet. All right, so my alphabet is for the semi-sane alphabet challenge, and you have to work on something to do with the letter of the alphabet. I shouldn't bump the table, sorry. Every 2 weeks, and we're up to letter F. So I previously had it looking like this, and then my alphabet I worked on, it's also one of my pieces for the zombie run. So I actually did a total, by the looks of it, of 714 stitches. So it now looks like this. So obviously I did the F because that's where we're up to, but I also came back up here and worked through all these things, including the crown and all these other different types of stitches that start with letter C. So that's where my alphabet is, ready for me to continue next month. Sorry, my dogs have come to visit. Then I did a lot of work on my little house neighborhood. Now I'm going to take this one out of the Q-snap for you because it's going super well. I'm now moving it off my zombie run, and I've done a lot of work on it because I made it my daily 30. So I did 432 to zombie run it, and then I did an extra 812 and 759. Then it became my daily. See, I shouldn't have jinxed myself. 232 and 148 and 152 so far. So I've been working down the bottom here, and as you can see, that's all I've got left to do. Just that little bit at the bottom. So really starting to look good. Sorry, you can see through it, but the end is nigh, and it's super exciting. And this one is the piece that celebrates Jenny and my friendship. So I'm super excited to have that one nearly done. All right, next one I worked on was my amazing Animal Kingdom bookshelf for the zombie run. So I did 411 and 99. stitches. Now, I'll put the previews up here. I don't know if you're going to be able to see much difference because that's where it is now. And I've basically been working at filling in all this part here, plus coming down a little bit to the books. So it's a bit hard for you to see it, but you can see there's not too many loose bits left. And as I keep saying, that page is done. Working down to this page, then I'll keep working down. So it'll be nice to get that out again for the zombie run in the not too distant future. And obviously I had to finish my zombie run. That was my extreme one, so I did it twice this month. And I was working obviously on Maidens of the Season. And there we are. I'm working on the frame because I wanted quick stitching. Didn't want to think too hard. No point showing you the before of that. But very soon, I'll be ready to actually do some work on the Maidens instead of the border, which will be really exciting. All right. And then more of the little house. Then I moved over to working on Christmas by the Cricket collection. This was one of my last remaining pieces from the March Mayhem. Words are hard today. Previously it looked like this. Looked like a tiny elf's hat. And I stitched on it 223 stitches. And now it's looking like that. So 223 stitches. It's on a piece of Paddock Lane Designs Stormy fabric in a 18 count Ada, stitching using DMC suggestions, and that is the middle T from Christmas. And then to finish off my pieces that were from the Mayhem was the postcards. So here's a picture of what postcards looks like. Because it's on the computer, I haven't actually got it printed out, so I can't be bothered to waste the ink. And my postcards, Zoe, my postcards I ended up doing more than I planned. So it previously looked like this, and I was working on it just to get the 200 that I wanted to get done. And here it is now. I did the 200 that I needed, but then I also, for Magical Stitches, had to do 500 stitches in yellow or gold. And so I finished off all that yellow in Sydney and then did all that gold colour down the bottom. So yeah, so that was 740 stitches, again on a Crafty Leanie piece of fabric that she dyed for me as a thank you for doing a design for us. So that was lovely. Then I was itching to do some full coverage. Again, did I just say that? Did those words just come out of my mouth? I'm enjoying full coverage ever since Pattern Keeper. Loving it. So I have two full coverages that I was working on, and I've just realized that one of them is not here, which is my Train of Dreams. So my Train of Dreams, I will submit a photo here to show you what it looks like, and then I will follow that up with another photo here to say that I did 378 stitches and really started to make some progress. So starting on the top left corner, just working in sort of color blocks, seeing where it lands. I like this one because it's fairly blocky and easy to do. And then the last piece I worked on this fortnight was my Angel Lion Lamb, which looks like this. Again, another Haid, and this one I'm enjoying because I've got the other colors to fill it in. I was doing diagonal stitching, so it previously looked like this, but I've done 344 stitches on it, so it now looks like this. A lot more filled in. In fact, that whole column down there is filled. So you can see those sort of wintry trees coming to fruition. But I've decided now that where this is actually the border, the inside border of the picture. So I think I'll actually move now to stitching the inside border and get the whole border done, which will give me a nice scaffolding to keep stitching it. So that, my friends, is my fortnight stitching. First week was really good. Last week was great stitching. I don't know if it's because of the floods, or I stayed home and had an excuse to stitch, or just I was doing pieces. I know I was doing a lot of work, a lot of hoe works and things, a lot of things to just try and knock everything over and get all those March Mayhems done. So I'd actually done 5,573 stitches last week. And this week so far I've done 2,620. So since you last saw me, that's 7,993 stitches. Oh my goodness, wow. So yeah, I am enjoying it. So that's where I'm up to. My plans is that I will keep stitching for the rest of this month, which is only until Wednesday. I will be doing whatever is set for homework for Daily 30 and Magical Stitches, and I don't know if they'll have pop-ups, what they'll do. We start the new round for both the ostrich jousting for the dragons and the next round of lessons for Crystal Academy. So they will keep me very busy, I think, this week. It's the last week of school, so I've got to go to work, then it's holidays. Sorry. And that's pretty much my plans. All right. Well, haul. Don't have a lot. I'm not sure if I showed you these ones. The Silks For You February Silk of the Month. If I did show you already, I apologize, but I was still in my box, which makes me think I didn't show you. And they have this gorgeous series of variegateds. I'm very excited that Silks For You is coming down to visit us in June, and my stitchy group, who are coming here on Sunday for once. They're going to meet my house and all my animals and family. So Silks For You are coming to visit, and we'll have a pop-up shop. So if you're interested and you're anywhere near the sort of Cessnock area, then let me know and I can give you details. And then I also got the colour of the month, which is the standard colours that they send you. Look at those beautiful variegateds. This one is actually what I'm doing my modern folk embroidery in. So yeah, lovely toys. So soft. They make little good pigtails. Alright, so that's my haul. I also have bought a whole bunch of different things to do finishing. I'm feeling like it's time I did some finishing. So maybe this week there'll be some more fully finished objects. Spotlight was having a bit of a sale on frames and canvases, so I got a couple, and I've got to go through the box and see what fits, and then I will endeavour to get them finished, and then I'll show you and you'll be able to see my fully finished. But it's time I got some more fully finished done. All right, now that leaves me with the fact that it is our 2-year floss anniversary, and that means it's time for a giveaway. I really am trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, so if you know anyone else you think would want to watch, please tell them to come along. But in the meantime, usual rules apply. Don't say giveaway. You need to be over 18 so that I can get your address to send you out the goodies. I don't mind posting overseas, but if possible, it would be great just to try and support Australians, because we don't get a lot of things, and Australian and New Zealanders, be nice to be able to share these. So I may do some of these just for Australians and others for internationals. This one can be international, and this is a series of 3 patterns that I finished this year. The Lizzie Kates, and they're all about autumn. So we have Autumn Nation, really cute, from the Boxer series. We have the Autumn Cottage from the Boxer series. And then we have the Sampling Thanksgiving. So that's 3 little super cute patterns from Lizzie Kate. And if you are interested in winning them, could you please make a comment saying the word autumn? Because it is autumn here in Australia at the moment, so I think I'd like to give away autumn patterns. This living on the other side of the world can be very frustrating at times. So yeah, autumn. A-U-T-U-M-N for those who only know how to spell fall. It's autumn down here, down under, and in many other parts. Secondly, I have got a pair of Told in the Garden patterns that I have actually ended up with 2 of. So we have got the quilting and Peacemakers 2. Beautiful Told in the Garden patterns. These are for Australians and New Zealanders only because they're quite hard to come by in this part of the world. So if you're in Australia and New Zealand and you would like to win these Told in the Garden patterns, please give me a comment that involves the word garden. Thirdly, just one more stitch. Little House Needleworks, just one more stitch before bed. Right, this one can go anywhere. It's just the pattern, one more stitch. All my patterns are in really good nick. So if you'd like that, you need to use the word stitch. And then lastly, I stitched this one. It's one of my favorite pieces. This is the Jan Lin African Lady. And this is the full chart. And I've also still got all the leftover threads that came with it. So I'm prepared to send this somewhere in Australia. So if you would like to stitch the African Lady and you want the pattern and the leftover threads so that you can colour match, then please use the word lady and I will send you this little packet to Australia. So just recouping, anywhere in the world, if you'd like autumn or stitch, and if you're in Australia and New Zealand and you'd like garden or the lady, please put a comment below and I will draw them when I do my next video with Jenny, which I think will be next weekend. So thank you so much for your time watching that. I'm going to jump across now to doing that little video of my mayhem. So if you're interested in that, keep watching and you might enjoy it. Okay, so the girls picked my pieces on the Aussie hour of Zooming, and they picked these ones. So the birthday cakes, which is by Brooks Books. The postage stamps, which you saw by jumping out of my head now. I think it's Soda Stitch. Reader's Paradise, which is a Haid. Christmas by the Cricket Collection. Silkwood Manor by Just Nan. Easter House Trio by Waxing Moon Designs. And Christmas House Trio by Waxing Moon Designs. Lavender Farm by Cuore e Batticuore. Christmas House by 2 by Artisy. Modern Folk Embroideries Family Patchwork Sal from 2020. Scary Halloween by Twin Peaks Primitives. Anzac by Long Dog. Fairy Tale Village by Abris Arts. Lantern Lane by Little House Needleworks. Blueberry Homecoming from Told in the Garden. And the Autumn House Cottage Boxer by Lizzie Kate. So they're what I worked on. They are the only things I worked on until this week, apart from my zombie runs. So yeah, so good to have the progress, and so I like being able to sort of do those before and after photos. Alright, well, I'm off to do some more preparation because No New Starts has got its first check-in at the end of March. So you need to make sure you're showing progress if you're in the main challenge. Make sure you've got your progress photos posted, and so that we can see that you are still doing it. If you're not still doing the main challenge and you never started, it would be really helpful if you could delete your album before we start checking, because it's really hard navigating the albums and you just have to scroll through. And each of the 5 admin team have about 35-40 people to look at each. So that's a lot of albums to scroll through to find the ones that we're looking for. So if you're not using your album for anything and you made one, please go through and get rid of it. And if you have got any progress, pop it in. If you have your album and you're keeping it, but you've already succumbed to the oops I did it, make sure you post in the oops I did it again post, and you can keep using your album, that's fine. We just won't bother to look at it. All right, well, that's for me. And as I said, I will see you in about a week, maybe an extra day. And I hope you enjoy the end of March, and I wish everyone a happy April Fool's Day when it comes around. All the best. Happy stitching.